Heyo, what's up and welcome. I'm the one and only West Coast King, and welcome back to the Hamburg career, where we are starting season number 3 today, jumping into this transfer window. Technically, I'm still in season number 2. I'm in early June, enough time to scout up some of the players that you guys left as suggestions on last episode. I have taken some of those names into consideration. They were some good names that I hadn't considered before, so I'll definitely be having a look at a few of those. But I have, going into this transfer window, a very clear objective in mind. We have Gabriel Jesus in the team. I'm fine playing him either in this position or in the striking position. It doesn't really matter to me which one he plays. He's phenomenal in both spots. So going into this transfer window, I have a number 1 target for striker and a number 1 target at center attacking mid. Whichever one of those that maybe we can get, I'll play Gabriel Jesus in the other position. So it really gives us some flexibility, and I like that a lot. So we'll see what happens there. I also have a couple of really good options at left back if there's enough money left over to upgrade that. Obviously, I'm going to focus on the attack first, as Douglas Santos is a serviceable left back. I've said that a million times last season. Good left back. I have no problems with him. If we have the money, though, that would be the next position I would look to upgrade. So we've got the plan. We just have to kind of get into this transfer window and see what happens. So with the end of season review, the board is delighted with our performance. I actually nailed all of the objectives set for us last season. I don't think I've ever done that before, hit every single one of them in every category. On top of that, we got Bundesliga Manager of the Season award as well. So hopefully that might give us a little bit more pull with some of these players we're trying to sign for next season. So here's a look at the budget we are working with for this season. 46, call it $47 million in the transfer budget, about 130 in the wage budget, 130,000. Not bad at all, but it's not going to be quite enough for what we need, at least not for my top targets in the striker or center attacking mid position. So we're going to need to generate a little bit more cash. And how are we going to do that? Well, I'm glad you asked. The best way to do it is to sell players, and I have a player in mind. I mentioned it last episode, Alen Halilovic. I like the guy. He's got, I think, the 5th best potential out of all center attacking mids in the game, but he flat out doesn't do anything for us. I don't know if it's the formation or our style of play, but he just doesn't produce on the field. So for that reason, I think we'd be better off to sell him, get the money in for him, and buy a player that better suits our needs, or is going to produce a little bit more on the field for us. Similar to what happened with Kostic last season, where we sold him and we brought in Gabriel Jesus. We wouldn't have won the title last season if it hadn't been for that move in January, bringing in Gabriel Jesus. He was the hero of this team in the second half of last season. So hopefully we can do the same here with Halilovic and bring in a player that will have a similar impact to Gabriel Jesus. Another player that is surplus to requirements at this point, and this one's a little bit tougher to pull the trigger on, but it's Rene Adler. He served us well over the course of these first 2 seasons, but we do have Bernd Leno coming in. Our young goalkeeper out of the youth academy, Roth, is up to 69 overall. I've been training him at the end of last season. He's good enough now to be the backup goalkeeper. So Rene Adler is worth more to us, unfortunately, as a trade piece, just like Halilovic. So we're going to add Rene Adler to the transfer list as well. Pains me to do it. He's been our captain for 2 years, a Hamburg legend almost, but we kind of need the money for him. The next player on the chopping block, and this one you know I don't want to do, it's going to be Jordan Morris. He's a Seattle guy just like me. Love Jordan Morris to death, but we have so many strikers on this team. We need the money more than we need Jordan Morris at this point. This one might not happen, depending on how much money we can bring in other places. If I can keep Morris, I will try to do that, but at this point, I'm going to have to try to look to sell him. We'll see what offers come in for him, though. Again, this one is 50-50 whether or not we actually pull the trigger on it. So the first offer we get in is for a player that I have no interest in selling. It is Nicolas Sula. Together, him and Brooks made the best center back partnership in the league, possibly in the world. So, no, there's no way. Him and Brooks, no possible way am I selling them. I'm not breaking that defense up for anything. The next offer that we have in is for the other half of that center back pairing, John Brooks. Again, no, not under any circumstances. I'm not breaking that defense apart, but honestly, right now, it's slow going. We're about midway through July. Haven't budged on anything. Like, nothing is happening. So I'm going to start kind of pushing the issue a little bit. I'm going to start making some offers here. Oh, boy. Okay, this just isn't... This isn't going the way I had hoped. Another offer in, and it's, again, for a player I'm really not interested in selling. 44 million is a lot from Leipzig. It's not as much as I would even consider selling him for. I'd want closer to 60, possibly 65 for Emre Can. But, you know what? Honestly, I think Klein eventually could take that spot, but he's not close yet. He's still only 69 rated. He's tearing it up in the preseason tournament right now, which, by the way, I'm simulating through. I think he scored 4 goals in 3 games, or 4 goals in 4 games. Emery Moore scored twice. Those are the only 2 players that have actually scored in that tournament. But for now, we still need Emre Can, and I don't even want to try to begin replacing midfielders at this point. I like the midfield. That's the only position that I'm 100% comfortable with at this point. So we finally have an offer in for a player that I do want to sell, and it is Rene Adler. Ironically, Bayer Leverkusen want him, the team that we pretty much stole Bernd Leno from for free. And I know they're in need of a goalkeeper, so you know what? They're a little bit desperate. Could we pull... I think 13 million is fair. I don't think they'll have a problem with that. They'll probably just sign it off. They got plenty of money. They'll just want to get this deal done and get a goalkeeper in their team for this season. All right, so I keep getting this loan offer in from Forth or Greuther Fürth, and it's a loan offer for Moise Kean. Short-term loan, so he'd be back in January. I keep stalling and letting it expire. I've gotten a couple of offers in for Jordan Morris, but I just can't pull the trigger on selling Jordan Morris. Every time I go down to accept it, and I really should accept a transfer offer for Jordan Morris, my heart won't let me do it. So you know what? We'll go ahead and loan Moise Kean out. Damn it, I'm keeping Jordan Morris in the team. All right. It is done. I've got my guy. And it just took me offering money for him, and they did it. First, I went to the team, and I was like, I want this dude. I know he's on an expiring contract. I know you're not going to make me pay full price for him. I'll offer you $20 million plus Halilovic. That's almost $50 million in value for this player. They're like, we're not interested in Halilovic. He doesn't fit our team. I'm like, believe me, I understand. Okay, I'll offer you $40 million straight up cash for this guy. And they're like, you know what? All right, we're going to lose him at the end of the season anyway, or probably in January on a pre-contract. He's not signing a new deal with us. We'll take the $40 million. And that is the story of how we signed Anthony Martial. And he's going to come into this team. We're putting him up top. We're putting Gabriel Jesus right behind him. And that is the world-class talent I was looking for at striker. He's going to be a monster for us. He's one of the most broken players in FIFA 17. His strength, his pace, his technical ability. He can bang shots from literally anywhere and any angle. Believe me, I've seen it happen to me firsthand. I can't wait to get this guy on the team. The strike partnership of Martial and Gabriel Jesus is going to be elite. This is what could take us over the top in the Champions League. This is going to be a good season. I can feel it. I'm ready. Now I'm ready for the Champions League. I'm excited. Bring on anybody. We're ready for them. So going back to Rene Adler, Leverkusen didn't want to do 13 million. Standard Liège also offered for Adler, also offered 11. I countered with 13. They don't want to do it either, but Standard Liège came back with 11.5 million. Leverkusen offered 11 million. I'm not saying I'm still salty for them stealing the title on the last day of the season in Season 1, but I'm sorry, Leverkusen, you didn't offer me as much as Standard Liège, so I'm selling Adler to them. The next offer is from a team that I'm very worried about next season in the Champions League. They knocked us out last year. They're only getting better. They just signed Kasper Dolberg, a striker that was on my radar. He was on my short list. If I couldn't get Martial, I might move on to him or a couple of other players, but Sevilla swooped in and got Dolberg. Now they want Cristo Gonzalez. Unfortunately, no. Even if I was considering selling Cristo, which I'm really not. Again, I like his versatility. He can play left mid, right mid, center attacking mid. He can even play striker. I really don't want to strengthen Sevilla. I don't often make a decision based on not wanting to strengthen other teams, but I'm actually worried about Sevilla next year. And we finally have an offer in now for Alen Halilovic. We're into almost the second week of August. I mean, and no team has offered for him until now. So it's from Everton. Not too bad. $29.5 million, but obviously I know he's worth a lot more than that. I'm not going to get a lot more than what his value is because I have transfer listed him. Everyone knows I don't want him, but let's see if I can get like 30. Let's go 10 million more than what they're offering. Let's go 39 million and see what they say about that. And Everton have come back with $37.5 million, and that's a lot closer to the number that I was looking for here. And you know what? Gonna go ahead and do this. I don't think we need Halilovic anymore. First of all, he doesn't really have a starting spot on this team anymore. Plus, when you go into the player training, players that, you know, the players with a lot of potential have that little green icon next to their picture. That means they're a promising player. He doesn't have that icon anymore. I don't think he's ever really going to get close to that 88 potential that he's supposed to have. So you know what? I think that's a fair enough offer. Like I said, we don't need him. It's a lot of money to bring into this team, and I'm going to be looking for a left back now with that money. So thank you, Halilovic, for your contributions, but it's time for you to move on. All right. You know what? I didn't want to do it, but now he's unhappy. He's mad, and I don't want him mad. And I know he's not going to get the playing time he needs and deserves. And you know what? I do have a soft spot in my heart for Newcastle. $11 million. All right, Jordan. All right, my dude. Okay, I hear you. I see you. I know you want that playing time. He deserves it. It's for the best. It's in the best interest of the player, okay? Believe me, I don't want to do this myself, but it does make sense. Okay. I still can't hit the button. Okay, just do it. There it is. There, I'm done. Done. It's done. Jordan Morris going to Newcastle. The next player that we are going to sign is the replacement for Douglas Santos in the left back position. In fact, we're going to include Douglas Santos in this deal. It's going to be 30.5 million plus Santos for Alejandro Grimaldo. I think he came out of the Barcelona Academy. A really good left back and a fantastic free kick taker. That is one of the most important things. But also, he has one of the highest potentials of any left back in the game. We're getting another true world-class talent into this Hamburg team. We are starting to put things together now, and we're having another really good transfer window. That's back-to-back really good transfer windows for this team, and we might not be done yet. You can see we accept this offer. We still have $33 million to play with. That's a lot of money. All right, time to add those depth players to the roster. Now, we're actually on deadline day, and we have a couple of done deals here. Player number one is going to be our new backup left back. As you saw, we sold Douglas Santos as part of that Grimaldo deal, or we included him in that Grimaldo deal, so we needed a new left back, and this is the guy right here, Ghislain Coman, I think is how you say his name. I have no idea how to say that, but the only reason I know about this guy is because of my last live stream that I did, where I play my player career on live stream. I was playing for the United States in the World Cup, and we went up against the Ivory Coast, and this dude was very solid for them at that left back spot. So I've decided to pick him up here with Hamburg. The next player is, yes, another left back, but he does have a 5-star weak foot, can play the left and the right. It's Gregory Tigev. You know I like that versatility in my players, so I thought this was another good deal that we could do, and a lot of other teams quickly offered for him as well for $7, $8, $9 million, so $6.75 million is actually a pretty sweet deal for him. The last player that I have right now is Mitchell Van Bergen, a winger. I sold a couple of our fringe players in the wing positions, needed some players in there to add to the depth. I wanted young players with good potential. Van Bergen fits the bill and a very nice price tag at $4.8 million. So the transfer window is now done, and let's have a look at what we're taking into this season. Starting off up top, it is Anthony Martial, the new guy, 86 rated. He is the second highest rated player on the team now, behind our new goalkeeper Bernd Leno. But look at these stats, all green, everything. 83 strength to go along with 94 sprint speed. He's a 4-star player. He can literally do everything except take free kicks, but that's okay. That's why we got Grimaldo. Not worried about that. But there's a reason why he's broken. It's because there's no way to stop him. You try to stop him one way, he can do something else. There's no way. He's absolutely freaking broken in FIFA 17. I cannot wait to get in and see what he can do. Behind him, Gabriel Jesus, and we know what he can do. Together, Martial and Jesus form one of the scariest strike partnerships that you will see anywhere this season. On the left-hand side, we have Emre Moore. I worked very hard in the preseason and at the end of last season to train him up to get him to 80 overall rated for the beginning of this year, and he just hit it like a couple of days ago. So I'm very happy with that. Looking forward to seeing what he does on the right-hand side for us. Mario Pasalic and Emre Can continue to start together in the midfield. Was very impressed with what they did last year. Popped up with quite a few goals, especially Mario Pasalic. We'll see if they can duplicate that performance. And of course, Christian Pulisic out wide on the right. In the defense, we have the only player in the starting 11 that's not 80 rated, and it's DeAndre Yedlin, but he plays well above that overall rating. Plus, he's continuing to grow. He will eventually hit that 80 rating. In there, in the center back spot, Sula and John Brooks. What can I say about them? Both 84 rated, and they are absolute monsters. One of the best center back partnerships I've ever had. Best defense in the league last year, and it's only getting better. And we've added Grimaldo to the left back spot, 83 rated, the new free kick taker. Fantastic pickup for us. And of course, like I mentioned, the highest rated player in the team, Bernd Leno, 88 rated. Adding him to the best defense in the league is actually scary. I feel like I've talked forever in this episode, but there's one more thing I wanted to show you before we ended it today, and that is our Champions League group for this season. You remember how last year I said we're not going to get an easier run than what we just had? Well, there's proof of it. Our group is very difficult. Juventus, Benfica, and Celtic. That is not going to be easy. I would be lying if I said I wasn't worried about it, but we'll have to see how this new team gels together. We definitely have the quality and the ability, I think, to do this, at least get through this group. Remember, we don't have to beat Juve. We just have to beat Benfica and Celtic, and I think we're capable of doing just that, but it is definitely not going to be easy. So that is where we're going to be ending this thing for today. We start off next episode with the first game of the regular season against newly promoted Union Berlin, and that's also actually Bobby Wood's old team, so that could be a little bit interesting. He's probably not going to be playing in that game, as he's not in the starting 11 anymore, but either way, that should be a pretty interesting game. I'm kind of predicting a massacre in that one, if I'm honest. We should definitely hammer Union Berlin and make a statement to start the season that we are not messing around. We're competing on all fronts. So we'll see if we can make that work and hopefully just continue that momentum throughout the rest of the season. So that is it for this one. If you did enjoy it, make sure to let me know by leaving a like below. Subscribe if you're new. I'll see you when we come back for some more Hamburg career. See ya.